Hey y'all, it's just Mari. At this point in filming, it is late January. And the reason that I'm filming this video at this moment in time is because Portugal is currently under a red weather warning, which means we're gonna be having some severe weather conditions. I'm talking super strong winds, lots of heavy rain, possible power outages, possible water outages, just a bunch of disruptions. This video isn't about panic, it's about being prepared so that the situation is manageable. Now, the first thing I actually did was close my shutters because, like I said, we are expecting some very strong winds this evening and tomorrow as well. Now, the next thing on my list to do tonight is to fill these water bottles and jugs with drinkable water. If there's a power cut or like a temporary supply issue, having clean water already set aside just removes a huge amount of stress. If you've ever been in a situation where there's been a power outage for a long amount of time, especially if you were here in Europe back in April of last year, you'll know that a lot of times when the power goes out, eventually the water supply is going to go out too. Side note, I did also fill up my electric kettle with water as well. Not that I'll have electricity, but it holds 2 liters of water. 1.8 liters of water. So I got this nice and full as well. It is warm. I don't know why it's warm, but it is. So yay. We also keep separate multi-use water that has like a small amount of bleach in it. That water is not for drinking, okay? But it can be used for washing things like washing your hands or doing the dishes or flushing the toilets too. Separating these two types of water also helps avoid confusion and mistakes. We definitely want to avoid those. Next, I'm charging every single device. Yeah, every single device. Phones, laptops, battery packs, or battery, I don't know. What do y'all call them? I call them battery packs. There's like some debate about it. Phones. I'll be charging this camera as soon as I'm done recording what I need to record tonight. If the power goes out, communication is going to be essential. Like, you need to be up to date with whatever's going on. Unfortunately, I don't have any like radio apps, FM radio frequency apps on my phone. I don't know why we don't have those anymore, but I do have an iPod Nano that I have 100% charged that works with FM radio. So I have that, again, 100% charged and ready to go, so that way I can listen for any emergency broadcasting needed. Another thing I'm going to do tonight, it's not required, it's not necessary, but it's just something that I personally like to do on my charged devices, like on my iPad and on my phone and on my laptop. I'm going to make sure that I have things downloaded that I could use to entertain myself, because if this power goes out, I'm not going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs. No, I'm going to make sure that all of my offline games are updated and good to go. I'm going to make sure that if I want to watch any movie or TV shows, that I have them downloaded as well. Any books I want to read, it's going to be available offline. I'm probably going to have some of my writing material available offline too, like my outlines and things, just so that way I have an abundance, and if I get bored of one thing, I could just hop on over to the next, no problem. It is the next afternoon. I am in between classes right now. Thankfully, the power didn't go out overnight, at least in our building or in our immediate area. We still have electricity, so we're still taking advantage of that. My shutters are temporarily open, but these will be closing back in maybe 2 or 3 hours, because we are still expecting some heavy weather, some heavy rain and winds. It won't be as bad as last night. A lot of people were affected by the storm. Like, I'm talking roof ripped from the house affected, trees, like huge trees knocked over onto the roads and need to be sawed in order to be removed, kind of stuff. Thankfully, in my immediate area, that's not the case, but I do have a couple of friends who have been affected. Before the weather surges again, I'm going to do an emergency bag or go bag check. It's whatever you want to call it. This is a check, so I'm not rebuilding this bag from scratch. I'm not building it up. I'm just more confirming that everything that I have in there works and that everything is not expired, basically. The goal isn't perfection, it's readiness. Okay, so my bag isn't 100% to what I want to have on there, but I have the basics, like what I would need, like just bare minimum, okay? If you aren't sure what to put in your emergency bags or go bags, or what you could do to prepare these kinds of things for emergency situations, meaning very bad weather, like what's going on now, or natural disasters, I'll put a couple links in the description below for the resources I used and that my family used to basically build our list of what we want our go bags to have. I'm also doing a candle check. I know that kind of sounds a little crazy, but I want to make sure that we have candles that are easy to reach. Now, of course, in our house, we mostly have your regular traditional candles that you need a lighter to light. You want to make sure that you're keeping these away from like curtains and like drafts of wind or like anything flammable. Safety matters even if it's during an outage. We usually keep quite a few candles in the living room because in a power outage, we just tend to consolidate into the living room to conserve on energy, and candles as well. But we also have kind of like our little to-go candles. Like if I need to go to the kitchen to get a glass of water, or if I need to go to the bathroom, I'm taking a candle with me. And of course, if you're in a small space, maybe candles might not be what you prefer. You can also use like little electric candles. We got a couple of like little tea light candles from I think the dollar store, $1.25, because it's no longer just $1 in the States. But like just a little tea light electric candle, it works just as well. So emergency prep doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need to be over the top, okay? You don't need a big old hiker's backpack like I do for my emergency stuff, okay? That's just full of the stuff of the list my family and I made to make sure each of us were individually prepared in case of separation. I've seen some cases where people just have a communal family go bag that is meant for their entire household. Just give yourself like a plan. Doesn't have to be a big plan. It could be a small plan. If you are currently under a severe weather warning, consider this a sign to make sure that you have what you need, that you have water that you can use for drinking, but that you also have like multi-use water for smaller things. Make sure you have food that won't go bad quickly, or that needs to be refrigerated or cooked as well, because if your power goes out, I'm afraid you can't use your microwave or your oven or your stove. Maybe your stove if it's gas. Make sure you also have enough light for you to be able to see. You don't need a floodlight. If you have one, though, that is good. But you don't need a floodlight. Make sure you have just a couple of candles around, or if you have any electric lighting, like a ring light, or for example, like this. I have this that I use for work. Just make sure it's charged up. If you are not under a severe weather warning, then consider this a reminder to make sure that you have things set up and prepared for the possibility of future emergencies. Because let's be honest, these past couple of years, we have been seeing a lot more emergency situations and natural disasters than we've previously seen before. Hit that like and subscribe button and that little bell for notifications. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!